Hey everybody, Editor Ben here. Before we get into the show today, I'd like to offer a quick explanation/apology. This is and was our very first live show, and I had a recording set up that I thought was going to work great. The problem was I was also on stage and wasn't monitoring in the booth, and something went weirdly wrong, and the audio that I got back sounded like this.
Because you get hungry. You do sometimes get a little hungry because you're feeling hungry and you think I could have.
So I used a backup recording that was recorded from a phone, and I did as much restoration trickery as I could. And I think what we've got now is something that's totally listenable, but is not at the quality that we intended to bring it to you. So apologies for that. Our lesson has been learned. Next time, I won't try to be in two places at once. Also, I make a reference in this show to Star Wars being full of tiny people. You're not going to get that joke. It's from something that happened before the show started. Okay, that's all. Sorry, thank you, enjoy.
On this episode of Bite Sized, we are watching and discussing the first scene of the movie The Twilight Saga, New Moon. For those of you watching along at home, that's from 000 to 1 minute 22 seconds. And now, on to the episode. Welcome back to another episode of Bite Sized. If this is your first time listening to the show, here's what's happening. My name's Ben. I'm watching the movie The Twilight Saga, New Moon, one scene at a time. Joining me is, I can now say joining me as always, but previously, not as always, is my co-host Sarah Murphy. Sarah, okay.
It sounds good. I feel very great having a co-host.
Yeah, you are. We are watching the movie The Twilight Saga, New Moon, one scene at a time. I've broken the movie up into clips that are anywhere from 30 seconds to 3 minutes long. We sometimes get a guest, but we always for sure talk about it. Mm-hmm. And we're talking about things a little bit differently today, because why is that, Sarah?
Because it's a new movie. A new movie?
That is true, yes. Are there any other reasons it may be different?
I don't know what you're eating.
Look about you, Sarah. Are you in my kitchen right now? Yes. We're recording live from the Newport-Theater, Chicago, Illinois. Yeah. And joining us, you heard him on the last episode. He's also on this episode. He's the editor of this show. I forgot to ask the normal questions that I ask before recording, but I know who you are and what you do. You're an actor, you're a comedian, you're a writer. He edits this show and does a lot of other cool stuff, including Wheel of Improv at Second City here in Chicago, Illinois. Yeah? Did I get that right?
You're right.
Yeah, Ben Auxier, welcome back to Bite Sized.
Hello! Thank you. Thank you for having me.
It's been a whole since the last episode that we...
Yeah, the last episode that we haven't actually recorded yet.
Recorded.
We're going to record it in our future, but you will have listened to it in your past, unless you're here in the room with us, in which case your past is our past, and we're all hurtling towards a future that's uncertain.
So now I understand the non-linear passage of time in this show goes. For maybe someone whose first episode this is, I'll start this off the way I start off every interview on the show.
Yeah.
And that is by asking you, what's your history with Twilight franchise?
So I was alive when it was a big thing.
Okay. Well, you are not a child.
What's that?
You're not a child.
No.
That's what we're learning.
Not no more.
You were alive between the years of 2005 and 2013.
I sure was, and I was not into it. I was aware of it enough to know the memes.
Yeah.
I was aware of it enough to... One time, there was a girl in college, when I was like a college freshman or something. Yeah. She came up to me, I remember, and she was talking about the books, and I was like, what are you talking about? And she was just like, and men need to be like Edward Cullen. And I was like, what does that mean? And she was like, they need to be hot. And I was like, okay, well...
That's all. That's
that's what she said, and I was just like, okay, well,
that's kind of all he does in the movie.
Yeah, and I was just like, all right, well, anyway, that was my history with the Twilight franchise. I knew it from memes and unrealistic standards of beauty that were foisted upon me in college. That's okay.
Does it feel personal now that I'm making you experience Twilight on a roughly weekly basis now? Is that reopening an old wound constantly?
Yeah, I assume that this is all part of some humiliation ritual on your part. to just
That you
remind.
volunteered for.
Yeah,
Well,
well,
volunteer night. This guy's getting paid.
didn't say I wasn't into it. Didn't say I wasn't into it.
Fair point. Fair point. Let's talk about the scene we're talking about today. We just watched it. It's the first scene of the film, The Twilight Saga: New Moon. And I don't know about you, but I'm dedicated to using its full title throughout the entire run.
The full title, The Twilight Saga: The New Moon.
The Twilight Saga: New Moon.
Oh no, I put in too many does there. The Twilight Saga: New Moon.
It's about a minute and a half long, and a solid 2/3 of that is a logo and a title card. We get a solid 30 seconds of the Summit Entertainment logo.
Yeah.
Too long.
Well, they had a hit on their hands.
Yeah.
And they were like, after the first one really made it big, they were just like, all right, this next time, the most of the movie is they know who made it.
Absolutely.
Most of the movie is this was our movie.
I was curious when I looked it up. I was like, at this point in time, like, what else has Summit Entertainment done? They really
Twilight
felt
movie.
the need. Basically,
Yeah.
they had really only done the first Twilight movie. Other stuff that they co-produced before this were Memento, Wrong Turn, and Step Up. Three very different things.
That's 3 bangers, though.
That's an eclectic mix.
It is an eclectic mix. We got psychological thriller, a horror, and then just like a teen drama.
Yeah, but you know the thing about them producing Memento was nobody remembered it. Shut the fuck up.
We get the New Moon title card that we'll talk about more, and then Bella runs through a bunch of people dressed like Little Red Riding Hood. And that's the general gist of the scene. So let's get into the nitty gritty that we've sort of already started with, because yes, we do start with an incredibly long Summit Entertainment logo. Too long. I think the movie is starting by insulting me. I think it thinks I need a lot of time to read.
No, here's my theory. Do you know in Spider-Man: No Way Home when Andrew Garfield, the other Spider-Man, comes through the portal and he has that moment where he kind of stops and he like breathes like this, and it's kind of a weird pause in the movie, and definitely the reason that's there is because they knew that people who saw it in the theaters would like break out into applause. I think the people who made this second one were like, everyone's going to be so hyped. We need to have 6, 7 years of titles so that everyone can just start applauding and get it all the way out of their system.
Well, it will just be dozens of screaming girls.
Yeah.
Hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of them.
Well, and so, okay, let me ask you this. Did who here, round of noise, saw this movie in theaters? Okay. Okay, a few. To your recollection, was there a lot of screaming and hooting and hollering at the top?
It was me, so yeah.
Okay, yeah. We have one of the culprits here. I think they may have known what they were doing.
Actually, fun fact, when I was looking up New Moon, at the time, this was the biggest midnight release ever in the US and Canada. It was only beaten by Eclipse.
This was...
So Twilight to Twilight, biggest midnight openings. This was like the height of midnight.
That's impossible. This is 2010.
2009.
2009
November
still.
20th, 2009.
This is after this had a bigger midnight release than The Dark Knight?
According to Wikipedia.
That's
A bigger
insane.
midnight release than the Star Wars prequels?
Yeah, well, midnight releases weren't really that big a deal until like the later 2000s.
They were a big deal to me.
Okay. And you alone.
I wasn't old enough to go to them, I guess, when the Star Wars prequels came out.
You weren't hot like Edward Cullen.
But I wasn't.
Thank you, Brad.
You'll never be hot like Edward, and you'll never go to a late night picture show. My mom used to say every morning.
Was your mom an old-timey newsman?
Yeah, she was a carnival barker. Step right up and see your dismal future. Guys, these are jokes. You guys got it. I'm fine. I'm doing great. When you feel sorry for me, it becomes real. That can't be the way it goes. I'm fine. We're talking about a movie. What else happened in it, Bear?
Well, it apparently made a lot of money at midnight, and so that's fun.
Hey guys, I have a question that's unrelated, that's only kind of related, because nothing happens in most of the clip we're talking about. Which ones are the waxing gibbous, and which ones are the waning gibbous
Well, this is
when you're
actually a
looking at a
wonderful
movie?
Yeah, I can tell you.
Because we go from the Summit Entertainment logo to, I would call, a very slow reveal of the title New Moon.
Very slow.
We all enjoyed a lot more than I expected in the watching of this clip. We all enjoyed rereading the title every time a letter was revealed, which makes me feel really good about sort of how warmed up our audience is.
Yeah.
But I also know that I did get a text from Sarah Murphy yesterday.
You said,
saying
what did it say then?
that shit's, well, I can pull it up exactly.
I would, look at you, that quote.
The direct quote was, watch the clip, get ready, I got, in all caps, moon facts! So let's, this is a great time. You had a moon question, we've got moon facts over here.
All right, hey, here's how we're gonna frame this, because I'm tired of making jingles. When I point at you, everybody says, moon facts. Here we go.
Incredible. So you were asking which one is waning and which one is waxing?
I just don't know what to do with my gibbous.
Yeah, with your gibbous. So if your gibbous is going from a new moon to a full moon, that is waxing. If it is going from full moon to new moon, that is waning.
Yeah, so what's this one doing?
So this one is waning.
It's waning, yeah.
So you should wax your gibbous if you want it to look bigger.
Right.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, polish it to make it look nicer and bigger.
Okay, great.
And then when it's deflating, it's sad it's waning.
Okay, got it.
I always hate him when it wanes.
No.
No one likes a wainy day.
Nobody likes a wainy day.
That's the only moon joke I have today. You got any more moon facts, Sarah?
Yeah, I do have moon facts. I mean, I was interested.
Moon facts! I like that this is less of a jingle and more of a demand. I'm giving the audience permission at any point today during the recording to shout out moon facts, and Sarah will be, as long as enough of you do it, Sarah will give you a moon fact.
Great. I only have a few, so I might have to start bugling.
Come on, Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Great. So, well, something I found interesting was the fact that it opens with like a bright orange.
It
moon,
does, yes.
Which apparently the director of this movie made a very
white.
pointed effort to not have this movie be blue.
Oh, well, yeah. Oh, this is... there's the Blue Bell. Longtime listeners will know, the show will know, that a lot of guests used to bring up just how blue the movie Twilight is, so much so that I got a whole bell about it. But this movie, decidedly unblue.
Decidedly unblue. Apparently it was an intentional choice that he wanted it to be a much warmer palette, and specifically pulled from like Italian Renaissance paintings. Like, this is what the color palette will be, and it will be orange.
And the Italian Renaissance people fucking hated the color blue.
Absolutely.
They said, RG, that's enough for me.
That makes a lot of sense. Not only does a good portion of this movie happen in Italy, but there's a scene coming up a few episodes from now where we transition from one scene to another by like zooming into like an oil painting, and then the painting comes to life and we're in it. This is, just to give you a sort of overview of how I feel about this movie, this is, Twilight movie is I think the best Twilight movie.
Yep.
And a lot of it is because choices the director made. And I'm saying that partially because I believe it, and partially because I'm only a surprisingly short number of degrees of separation away from the director of this movie, and I really want him on, Chris Weitz?
Yeah.
And I really want him on this show.
That's a good connection to have. I hope we can get him on. Hey, man, I love your work. This is all I've seen of it so far. Hey, so
That's not true. You've seen more of his work than you expect.
what else have I seen?
He wrote Star Wars Rogue One and
He
directed
did.
the first American Pie movie and also The Golden Compass.
Yes.
Chris Weitz.
Those are the exact three I have in my notes.
I think he did some script work for the DreamWorks picture Ants. Hey, yeah.
Let's go.
Chris Weitz, the director of this movie, has a surprisingly solid resume.
Okay.
For someone that a lot of people haven't heard of, the guy works. Anyway, the moon.
So the moon.
Moon fact!
Thank you. So I was interested in the fact that it is an orange moon, and not only
Yes.
because this whole like color scheme of the movie is orange, but also there is a specific type of moon that comes out about once a year that is called a harvest moon. That comes out in autumn. That does tend to be naturally orange because of the way that light diffuses and the distance of the moon to the horizon because of the positioning during the year. Well,
Sorry, I think you mean because God is mad at us.
oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Because God is mad, the moon is orange, and when he's extra mad, it's red and it's a blood moon. But I thought that was interesting, especially because it tends to come around in autumn and new moon. We're starting with like a new school year for Bella, new changes, new beginnings. New moons tend to symbolize sort of a time of reflection and change. So I just thought that was an interesting sort of intro into the movie, other than just moon orange.
Yeah.
Moon is orange.
Moon is orange, and then we head from moon being orange into some action. The first thing we hear, and when we played it for everyone here just tonight, we were all being too loud and the clip was too quiet. But the first line of dialogue we hear,
These violent delights have violent ends, and in their triumph die, like fire and powder, which as they kiss, consume.
saying these violent
Do you want the direct quote?
These violent delights.
Should maybe one of the two of us who wrote it down, or do you want to try to go for memory?
It's fine. It's a rule.
No, you got it.
It's a rule. So it's a line by Friar Lawrence in Romeo and Juliet, and I played that role once. So I thought maybe I could just think of it and say it out loud. So here, let me.
How's that working out for you?
Let me try. Here we go.
Yeah.
Hold on, stand up.
How long ago? How long ago was this performance?
10, 11 years. Okay, so it's in the scene where
Act 2, Scene 6.
yes, Romeo comes to Friar Lawrence and he's like, "You gotta come, you gotta marry me and Juliet. You gotta do it in secret. We wanna get out of here. Everybody here, they suck so much. But you're like a cool friar. You're like you're one of those clergy nobody's worried about. Come on and help us. Come on, get us married." And Friar Tuck.
Yeah.
Friar Lawrence turns to him and he basically gives him a monologue that it means, "Hey man, cool your jets, cool your passions, or you're gonna burn out." And it goes a little something. As far as I remember, it goes a little something, like this. "These violent delights lead to violent ends. For like a thing, what goes boom when it touches a different one? You're the boomy thing, and she's the fire thing. And if you go to it like it's too hot or you're in direct sunlight, you're both gonna go boom. And then you can't love each other when you're dead, because dead people only lay down. And they don't stand up and go places like you do. Hey, why don't you read a book?" Thanks.
You'd be a roll of wine.
I don't think we could read a direct quote.
No, that's word for word what Bella says.
Verbatim the epigraph to Boomer.
As we watch the moon slowly change phases.
Yeah.
What do you think this has to do with the movie we're about to see? What are these violent delights Bella is going to get all caught up in?
Well, she's a star-crossed lover with Edward, right? I mean, obviously, they're not meant to be together.
No,
and their violent delights will lead to violent ends. Although I think all the violent delights that have happened so far is just running away from other vampires.
I mean, we talked in our last episode, the three of us, it was the episode, the scene where Bella's in the hospital, and Edward flat out says, like, "You can't be with me. I almost got you killed."
Yeah.
We should not be together, and Bella stutters for 18 seconds saying, "How dare you?
Yeah.
We're in love."
Yeah.
That's true. And I think Bella is saying, "Hey, you can't see this on the podcast recording. My microphone is slowly leaving me. It's backing out.
It doesn't want to be part of this.
It's backing away as though it's waiting for me to break up with it. Like it doesn't want. It's just becoming emotionally distant because it doesn't want to bring it up." Okay, stay still. No, God damn you.
You got it.
All right, so
Woo!
violent delight.
Yeah.
Violent ends.
Right.
Clearly, she's thinking about. Now, I happen to know that in a moment she's going to wake up from a dream and she will have been reading Romeo.
We haven't seen that yet.
Yeah, we don't know that yet.
Yeah.
So all we know right now, based on the mise en scene so far, is that she's worried that she's on a path to destruction because of her forbidden love affair with the man what got the sharp teeth.
Yeah. It's from Romeo and Juliet. Little on the nose, I think.
It does feel very on the nose.
If you're going to make a movie about two teenagers in love who might fall in trouble and possibly die.
Yeah.
Romeo and Juliet, clearly the first thought. Seems like they could have tried a little harder.
Yeah, but remember this. Let's remember who the primary audience for this movie is. The primary audience for this movie. No.
Listeners, Ben is pointing at his wife.
So watch your next fucking words.
No. I'm saying age-wise at the time it came out.
Sure.
You are aimed mostly at people for whom, like, Romeo and Juliet might be at that point their only exposure to Shakespeare that they've had yet.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be an accessible allusion to hit, right?
Fair.
You're not gonna start with A Winter's Tale.
I guess.
I don't know how you would eat anyway. Bella's just sitting there in her bed and she's like, "Exit pursued by bear." And they're like, There's a bear now?
Well,
I mean,
A wolf, man. Yeah,
she does-
that would have worked.
You know what?
Boy, Shakespeare knew what he was doing, huh?
did.
Name a Shakespeare play. I'll tell you how it relates to Twilight.
Timon of Athens, the one no one knows anything about.
Okay, Timon of Athens.
Yeah.
So Timon, obviously, in that play,
Yeah, he's of Athens.
He's of Athens. He's from that area.
Sure.
He's trying to avenge
Yeah.
Pumbaa,
Yeah.
and vengeance plays a lot into Twilight. Because Edward's got to go after the bad vampires, what went after Bella. So that's what happened in. Who else had one?
This guy knows Hamlet.
Hamlet.
Shakespeare.
Oh, Hamlet. That's easy.
Ghosts.
What?
for this movie specifically, yeah, good.
Yeah, ghosts.
Ghosts.
Easy. Next one. Try again.
Wait, you can't just say ghost.
No, I should have said again.
That's later.
Oh, there's ghosts
There's
in Twilight?
ghosts in this movie.
Wait a minute. There's ghosts in Twilight too?
Well, kind of.
Okay, but there's kind of ghosts in any movie. You can't see them, that's what makes them ghosts.
Oh, because
but you can point in the background of Taxi Driver and go, look, a ghost. There's 17 ghosts in this film.
I don't know, the rules of comedy compel us to now do a third Shakespeare play. King Lear and the Tempest. Murph, what do you got?
Murph, going to
Yeah, auction and why I did one.
there's a big storm coming.
Yeah, that's true.
Hey.
There's a big storm coming.
And Edward's kind of a wizard if you think about it.
What?
We go, we see the sun, and then Bella is running through a bunch of people in red cloaks. And Ben Auxier is someone who's never seen this movie before. Who do you think these people are?
What's the deal?
I'll give you a hint. They're all Italian.
Oh,
I hope that helps.
right. Yeah, so that would mean they're the Renaissance people who hated the color blue from earlier. That we talked about.
Romeo and Juliet.
They're the Italian Renaissance folks who inspired No More Blue. That's why they're all wearing red.
Okay.
Or they're Handmaid's Tales, because they all look like Handmaid's Tales. How do you pluralize Handmaid's Tales?
Just like that. You add an S onto the end of every distinct word. Handmaid's Tale. Yeah.
That sounds like a disturbing variant of rock, paper, scissors. I don't want.
Handmaid's
beats
tails. Tails beats hands.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, she is running through this crowd, and then she bumps into a lot of people. Most of them don't notice, but she does sort of bump really hard into one guy who does have a really great reaction.
Oh.
And you two talk while I pull it up, because it's my favorite part of the scene.
They should notice her more because she's
not in the outfit.
She's not in the
didn't
outfit.
Get the memo.
She's
of
very
tired.
extremely not in the outfit.
Yeah.
And she's being pushy and runny.
Yeah, everybody's just enjoying their day, doing whatever it is they're doing.
Clear.
We won't get too descriptive.
I don't know. They're in some sort of courtyard. Okay, we've got it pulled up.
Yeah, can you scoot over my mic?
Oh, I will. I will scoot.
All right, so I've got it pulled up now, and I want you to watch this guy right here who seems to be pointing up at nothing. Maybe the sun, maybe a clock. He's the only person pointing up because Bella's gonna run into him. And look, his elbow. Oh, poor baby. He's my favorite part of this scene. I'm gonna go ahead and call him the extra Auxier. Please drop in the theme when you're editing this here. Thank you. Extra is, of course, my favorite segment of the show, devoted to finding the background actor who's really going way too hard, more than they are getting paid to do the most extra, if you will. And my extra for this scene is that guy who's really offended that Bella ran into him.
Give it up for that guy.
Yeah. Yeah, but that guy, he's got a story to tell now. He brings that up at every party he goes to.
He has an arc in this brief scene that he's in. He's just enjoying a nice day in the piazza.
Yeah.
It's beginning.
It's pronounced pizza.
Thank you. Some strange lady who's not wearing a red cloak bumps into his arm. Middle conflict. And then she just keeps running, and we never see him again. The conflict is unresolved. And that's how it ends.
Okay. That's kind of the opposite of an ending. But speaking of the opposite, Speaking of opposites of endings, when she's rushing forward, we don't see what she's rushing to until we see. She finally comes to a clearing. She looks up, and there's a big stone clock on a tower, and the clock strikes 12, but it's daylight.
Yeah.
So noon, the witching hour of noon.
Yeah, high noon. Is it? Did you not know there's a 12 o'clock where it's bright outside?
I didn't.
12 o'clock is more than just midnight. You know?
I see right through that.
Yeah,
But
the
it's
sun
not.
is beaten down.
But it's
Yeah.
not. It's not notoriously ominous. Noon. Noon isn't the time.
It is for cowboys.
Because that's when they have.
Because that's when we got some applause for cowboys.
Let's go, Cowboys.
Because that's when they have all their duels.
That's when they have their showdown.
That's when they have their showdown.
And if you think about it, she's running around sort of a dusty stone building square. Maybe that's what's happening here.
Do you think that there are any cowboys who ever tried to set up a duel, but they just couldn't get their calendars to align?
Yeah.
Where they were just like, hi, you, me, town square, high noon.
Oh, I got lunch at high noon.
Oh no, of course, I don't know what I was thinking.
Can you do high 1:30?
I have a meeting that starts at 1:15. I will probably still be in my meeting at high 1:30, and then I gotta get my spurs on. Tell you what, let's call it 2. Can you do high 2?
That's not good. Can you do high next Thursday?
I've got Pilates on Thursday.
Damn.
They livered snake in the grass.
And scene.
Okay. That's about Thank you. That's about all the mileage that idea had.
Oh,
Yeah, moon fact. Actually, I had this in my notes, and I did mention it before. I was curious if the moon was going the correct direction.
That's a great question.
Because I thought it was silly. It was going backwards from moon to new. I wrote in my notes, going right to left is correct for moon, but looks dumb.
it does look dumb.
And that's a moon fact.
That's a good moon fact because I was kind of wondering the same thing.
But why would they choose that? It's because that is the correct way to go from a full moon to a new moon.
Right. No,
But it does look dumb. You're right.
It does look dumb.
Fucking get them.
Going right to left is correct for moon. But looks dumb.
Should have taken some creative license there.
Yeah.
I guess, this is 2009. This is right around when Neil deGrasse Tyson is getting big and complaining about things. Maybe they just don't want to run afoul of that.
They didn't want. They were just like,
It's going to kill our box office.
nobody's gonna come see our movie.
If Neil deGrasse Tyson says anything about Twilight, it's dead in the water.
Yeah.
That guy could kill any project on site.
Yeah.
He can't.
It's wrong moon effect. He's done.
He's notorious. He walks on the set and be like, Star Wars full of tiny people. And they're like, get out of here. Get out of here, Neil. That's not how light speed works. I'm like, I know. You and I, we're equally smart.
You and Neil deGrasse Tyson both know a lot about space.
Yeah, we know equal stuff. He's an astrophysicist. I'm still in debt for my acting degree.
He also has an acting career, if you think about it.
He does. He has a more successful acting career than me.
Do you have a more successful astrophysics career than him? Mm-hmm. Okay.
Ask me for a moon fact. Moon fact! Fucking big.
That's true.
Shit, calculator.
The clock strikes 12. There's some nice loud bell noises.
Yeah.
Bella keeps running through the crowd, bumping into more people who do not react like that guy does.
I was surprised Bella, she's bumping into people, I would assume, because it's a big crowd, but poor Bella, pretty coordinated. I feel like she is known and she is dunked on throughout Twilight for being as uncoordinated as possible. And she's pushing into people because there's, I'm assuming this entire area is full of people in red cloaks. She doesn't trip.
That's true.
She doesn't knock anybody else over. She just kind of moves her way through it.
I have a question about that, about her frequent characteristic painting of being just so clumsy.
Yeah.
It's my understanding that Bella is written to be sort of a stand-in character where the reader, maybe a young woman herself, can see herself in this role. Sure. And that's why she kind of infamously lacks too many specifics.
Yeah.
Right? Because it's like, I don't want to...
She's just every girl.
Right, she's in every girl. Was it part of the relatable appeal to be like, I too fall on my ass every day?
Here's the thing, you're asking the wrong woman because I was 6'1" by the time I was 14. So I was falling on my ass all the time. I still fall on my ass all the time. So sorry, it was relatable to me.
That's exactly what he was asking. You're the perfect
You're
person.
the perfect
Yeah,
person.
so
Yeah.
it was rigid for me and me alone.
And you were like, if I, with my trippy ways, if she can find love, so can I.
I mean, she'll be an awkward teenage girl and be like, okay, and she could fuck up this bad and find love. Maybe there's someone out there for me.
In the gender swap Twilight that Stephanie Meyer wrote, is the thing not being clumsy, but being constantly afraid your voice is going to crack while you're talking to people? Because that was my experience as a young boy. That was my trip.
Was that was your biggest, like, insecurity?
It was, Scott, you didn't know when it was going to hit. You didn't know. You're just speaking like a person, and then, and then you have to move. Yeah. You have to move.
Is that why you don't live in Kansas City anymore?
That's why. Yeah. But I lived a bunch of places before then, too.
Okay.
It's hard being a boy. They made us go to Jupiter to get more stupid.
So do you feel like if there was a book about a boy who fell in love who get his voice cracked just all the time?
Yeah.
That was a slow character.
But a cool, mysterious girl was like, I don't care. You
But
got.
that makes you feel better?
You have the most beautiful voices I've ever heard.
Yeah.
I like both of them. I like it when you I like it when you sound like you just started shaving and like when you're a little mouse. And I like it best when one interrupts the other. Let's go. And I'm 117. Let's go jump in some trees. I'm talking myself out of my own fantasy.
I don't know. It's starting to get good for me.
Oh, yeah?
The jumping through trees stuff.
Jumping through trees.
All about it.
I will say that is the most fun scene in the last movie was the jumping through trees.
Okay.
I was just like, I could pretend to be into Edward if he would let me jump through trees with him.
Interesting. And that's just sort of how
You don't want to know any more about that.
I
huh?
do.
Okay, sure, go for it.
I don't have
Moon fact. I'm the only person. Do you have more?
I want you to give them.
Okay, yeah.
I really
Get a moon
care.
fact. They gave you, you asked for a moon fact, so I'll give you a moon fact, and that is the moon is tidally locked with the Earth, which means it is orbiting around the Earth, but it does not itself rotate on its axis. The face of the moon that you see when you look up is the same side of the moon that has been facing the Earth for the entire time that the moon has been there. That's why the side of the moon that we see has significantly fewer craters on it than the other side of the moon. Because craters don't come from Earth, they come from the other side.
Craters. Yeah.
Who knew you were going to get educated?
That's a genuine moon fact.
That's a genuine.
So much about
Can
the
you
moon,
tell?
not much about Twilight.
Archer, I have a question for you because when we talked about it being high noon earlier,
Yeah.
you just seemed like that was such a blasé choice. I'm concerned about.
It's the least interesting time of day.
What's the most interesting time of day?
6:15
AM or PM?
p.m.
And why?
Because you get hungry.
You do sometimes feel a little hungry.
Because you're feeling hungry, and then I could make some sketty. I'm not done. You think to yourself, I could make some sketty right now, and it doesn't just sound like an option. It sounds like an event. Because you're just hungry enough. Because
Yeah.
it's 6:15. You're not starving where you're angry yet. You're just hungry enough that you can sit down and start making the food and anticipate it the entire time. Ooh, hungry in my tummy. Here come a sketty. You sing to yourself at 6:15. This is a 6:15 song. No other time of day. No other time of
Do you wish
day.
this movie had taken place at 6:15?
What?
I'm hearing?
Yeah, it's called fucking Twilight.
This one's New Moon.
This is New Moon.
It's the Twilight Saga new movie.
Colon New Moon.
But do you have any thoughts about why there might be some dramatic tension about why like noon is such a big deal?
Why it's
And then,
noon?
like any sort of like thoughts if you had to guess
What's so
ahead.
new about this moon?
What's so new about the moon? Tell me about it. It's like, try something else. Turn around. We've never seen your ass yet. Jeez Louise with this moon. What else is going on? What was your question?
No, sorry. My question was, you seem pretty blasé about like, oh, it's noon. What's the big deal?
Yeah, it's 4.
But it's very tense in the movie. Why do you think that is? What you're thinking ahead? Why do you think that might be?
Yeah. Oh, what have we talked about? The
Like when you have
violent
such a big deal.
What are going to be these violent ends?
Well, noon is the other hungy time of day.
Sure. I'll be honest, if there's an obvious answer.
Oh, yeah. I'm gonna say because noon is the hungy time of day. It's the other hungy time, but it's not the exciting hungy time because lunch is the obligation of meals. Lunch is the thing that you have to just sort of get through in order to continue the day that you weren't that into at the office already. Sure. You know what I mean? Sure. Lunch is just the bikes you have to check. And boy, when something gets in the way of that, you're gonna be mad. So when sometimes violent delights, such as stealing someone else's lean cuisine right out the fridge, that's gonna have a violent end.
You think Bella's running towards that lean cuisine?
I think
That's what the bells are. That's the microwave.
the bell.
Microwave.
They do lunch right in Europe. It's a bigger deal there. So even if people are making something as pedestrian as a frozen meal, the microwave go bong and bong
Right, that's
and bong
clearly a very old
Got an
thing.
accent.
yeah
It's Italian.
and bong. And so when I think that someone stole Bella's lean cuisine, and that violent delight is gonna have violent ends.
Sure, someone's gonna
She's
die.
gonna eat him.
Yeah.
Wait, is it that Edward's gonna eat her because he hungry?
Hey, so let's talk about vampires.
Yeah. What's the deal with vampires? What's kind of their whole thing?
known
And maybe one of the things they're like not supposed to be
Not supposed to be in the sun.
Yeah.
But it's not dangerous for Edward. He just turns sparkly. That's what happens on this stage every night, most nights. We're in a burlesque theater right now. He could walk onto this stage after being out in that hot sun, and people would just
Forks. He's not in high noon in Italy.
Okay, but even still, if I was outside and I saw a guy who was kind of sparkly, I'd be like, and I would move on. There wouldn't be another thought in my
I
head.
had a single thought.
I would think, boy, that guy likes sparkles.
I would, Pride weekend was last week, buddy.
Yeah, I'd be like, oh shit, it's Pride already.
Closet right now.
It's Pride already.
You're late. You missed it.
I just think that if your alternatives are either spend your entire life avoiding sunlight, your entire eternal life avoiding sunlight, or coming up with a reason you like sparkles. I would just come up with a reason I liked sparkles.
Interesting.
Okay.
Interesting.
If sparkles are a death sentence, then lock me up.
I heard what Ben says.
Fair enough.
To this movie.
I think that brings us to an excellent place to wrap this episode up. And so I'll ask the last question of the interview portion, which is, if you had to give this episode a name, if you had to give this scene a name, what would be the name you would give it? And this is also going to be the name of the episode, so it better be good. And you've edited to every episode of the show, so you really knew this was coming.
You got this, Ben.
Oh, you want to defer to me?
Yeah, you're the guest. You're the co-host now.
Because I got
She
one.
can't do this.
No, legally.
This is definitely-
can't.
That's it! That was it!
I would want nothing else.
All right, Moon Facts it is. Ben Auxier, if people like the sound of your voice and the cut of your jib and maybe want to see you perform some Shakespeare or at least follow you on social media, where can they do those kinds of things?
You can go to linktree.com/Ben Auxier.
Ooh.
Ben Auxier. That's got all my stuff. Come see me at the Second City where I do Wheel of Improv. And I don't know, it may be right behind you right now.
Fancy boy got a link tree. Sarah Murphy, what about you? Where can people find you on the internet or in real life?
Yeah, you can follow me on almost all social medias at OopsAllSmurf. You can also see me in Swiped Improv Tuesdays at the Second City. Although by the time this premieres, our run might be done. And so,
probably.
we'll be somewhere at some point, and maybe I'm right behind you too.
That's entirely possible. And you know what? If this show may be right behind you, probably not. If you want to follow the show on social media, you can do so at bitesizedpod_ on Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok, or just bitesizedpod _ on Tumblr, because I decided to be different with that time. I hate consistency, I guess. Please, if you like this show, share it with a friend, give it a review, leave it a like, something like that. Those little things that really do help the algorithm and things like that with this kind of thing. Thank you to the band Swimwear Department for letting me use their song Mauled to Death as our theme. Hey, as when this goes live, we may or may not have the Patreon up. You can find all that information and more at patreon.com/twilightpodcast.
Unless you can't.
All that information and more available at twilightpodcast.com. If you want to reach out to the show, if you want to be part of the conversation, you can leave a comment or send me a message on social media, or you can send an email to myfavoritetwilightpodcast@gmail.com. Apologies to all other Twilight podcasts. Thank you to Ben Auxier for editing this and every other show. Truly could not do this without you, and that is it. That is all we have for today. As we always say, thank you to the Newport Theater for putting us up for the day and letting us do our show here. Thank you to everyone who came out to see us live. Theory means a lot to us. That is all we have for today's episode of Bite Size. As we always say at the end of every episode, Moon Facts! Moon Facts! See you next time.
Oh no, but this is my favorite part. If I had to choose.
Whoa.
It takes its good sweet time. Noon! Moon! Moon! Ew! Moon!
Kelly's talking, shut the fuck
These
up.
violent delights have violent ends.